determined that Argentina didn't just look tired, didn't play tired. They looked like they were auditioning to be the new pitchman for Sleep Number's mattresses. Like they were going to come out and do some commercials and say, oh, here's our sizzle reel. Oh, really? Well, you do look tired. You definitely look tired there. They needed a nap and a juice box. No excuses. Pathetic. I saw the conspiracy was, I saw this online somewhere, said Argentina had played all games either in climate-controlled venues or at night, and they never had to deal with the elements. It looked like they needed oxygen, but they were playing in New Jersey. It's sea level.
Ben Maller, weeknights, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific, on Fox Sports Radio. I did. It's Dan Patrick. Yeah, him. Yeah. You trust Dan. You need Dan.
Nobody needs to know that.
Because without Dan, mornings just wouldn't be the same.
This is guaranteed to go wrong. Horribly wrong. Absolutely.
It's the Dan Patrick Show. Need I say more?
Shut up. Yeah. That, to me, was a little cringeworthy there.
Listen weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. Right here.
I want publicity.
On Fox Sports Radio. FS1. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. Now. FS1. Go to foxsports.com for details.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
And here's what you need to know.
The Carolina Panthers have placed offensive tackle Taylor Morton on the non-football injury list. He will miss the start of training camp, but also potentially part of the regular season. Morton was revealed to have been diagnosed with blood clots in his lung in June. He should be missing part of the regular season. Also going on the Panthers NFI list is starting quarterback J.C. Horn. He just needs stitches after cutting his foot while running. The Miami Dolphins and linebacker Jordan Brooks have agreed to a 3-year, $51 million extension. The Yankees and Pirates are officially rained out. They'll play a day-night doubleheader on Wednesday. Meanwhile, manager Aaron Boone, joining a Yankees podcast, announced that pitching ace Max Fried is set to return next week after more than 2 months on the injured list. The Asian Tour announced a strategic alliance with the PGA and DP World Tour in Europe. This move signals the end of the Asian Tour's relationship with Live Golf. I'm Chris Perfett.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. Glad you're here. How are you, everybody? You doing all right? We're back and ready on a Tuesday at South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Yes, from high school to college to the pros. We'll try and get you covered. Good stuff tonight. It is always a great day in South Dakota. Welcome in. We are live. Fox Sports Radio. Our affiliates, Fox Sports Rapid City, you bet, and KWSN Fox Sports Sioux Falls. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Remember, you can stream us if you can't catch the radio show. You know, we have this radio show, but we got to stream stuff just like everybody else. And I'm going to get into this, by the way. Not old man yelling at the clouds too much today, but a touch. A lot to discuss today. We are streaming on X right now. Follow us, watch us live at Nate Brown Show. X, follow us, watch us live at Nate Brown Show. Find us on YouTube, search The Nate Brown Show, and you've got us on YouTube. Easy to do. Subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate that. Give us some thumbs up, all of that good stuff. The Nate Brown Show at YouTube.com. And Midwest Sports Plus, our great partners, Forum Communications, and the new app, Midwest Sports Plus, covering live high school sports, and the Nate Brown Show live on Midwest Sports Plus. Let's look at the Tuesday lineup. Hey, here's what I'm going to try and do on South Dakota Sports Talk Show over the next month. We're going to try and get a stop with each program in Missouri Valley. I know a lot of people still interested in how this is going to go with the Jacks and the Yotes and the whole thing. So we're going to try and get a coach, a stop. We're going to try and get some insight over the next few weeks as football season arrives. And tonight we're going to go to UND. This is a program that was right in the mix last year. Some nice wins last year. Would they lose to the Jacks in OT? Really tight game with NDSU. So a lot of people think UND, North Dakota, is going to be right there. So I thought, let's get their coach on. He's there, Eric Schmidt, and he's going to join us live from UND. So we'll talk to the Fighting Hawks head football coach, and it kind of starts our tour around the Missouri Valley. We'll get to him. Eric Schmidt, glad to have him on tonight from UND. We'll get his read on getting picked fourth in the Missouri Valley. Some people, though, giving him some first-place votes, by the way. Eric Schmidt, head coach at UND, is coming up. We will go to Matt Zimmer. A lot to discuss on the college side and South Dakota sports side. Matt Zimmer's in from SiouxFallsLive.com. He'll join us next hour. And James Merilatt is on tonight. Great media guy, covers the whole scene in Denver. He's with DenverSports.com. James Merilatt on tonight. If you want in, we'll get you. 605-720-1067. Hit us there. 605-720-1067. Join the show live. Don't just let me be by myself. The producer, Matt Kearney's out. I'm lonely. We're okay. 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Powered by the Pizza Ranch. 2 great locations. I'm telling you, it's been so hot. Let the Pizza Ranch hook you guys up. They are in Brandon and East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Best buffet in Sioux Falls is at the Pizza Ranch. Locally owned and operated. East 10th Street. And stop by the location in Brandon. Great. Barron's Wilson text line. Last thing for you. Housekeeping before we get started. If you haven't hit us on the text line, you can do it. 605-720-1067. Same number. If you can't call, you can direct text the show, be a part of the conversation, invite you in. 605-720-1067. Had a little fun there. Okay, so I'm going to start the show with something that is like insider, like baseball, insider trading. I'm going to start the show with something that I think most of you guys kind of care about, but you don't care about it as much as me, so I'm not going to take my angle on this. I'm not going to take my deal on this. I've been in the media for, count it, 26 years. Don't count it. 26 years. South Dakota, I spent some time in Washington, D.C., was up in Billings, Montana. So I've been through some stuff, and mostly it's been on the radio side. Did a little TV, did a lot of radio stuff, went into university athletic department for a few years. So I've kind of seen people in and out and up and down, and the cuts here and the cuts there. I haven't really been a part of that. I haven't really been axed. Can I do I remember if I've been axed? I think I would. I've changed here, and I've went there, and I've went to this market and that market. Why am I discussing? So I'm not going to give you my, this is, they got this wrong and that wrong and this wrong. I'm not going to give you that. I am going to talk about a headline because I do think it impacts the sports world that we're in today. And I think we all have a role in that. It's so interesting how we complain about stuff, yet we are in 2026 consuming things that companies know how we want to consume things, and then we still complain about it because I wish it was still like it used to be. It's a really interesting dynamic. I'm talking about ESPN announcing more cuts today. And this is the part where I don't think most of you guys, you're listening to this sports radio show, so you like sports, you want to stay plugged in, maybe on the Vikings, I don't know, maybe the Jacks or Yotes, maybe you're a high school guy. We try and give you something each time out. We're not going to get it exactly right for you, exactly what you care about, but you're interested in sports and you're consuming sports in various ways. So you're listening to this radio show. This is good old-fashioned sports radio. So you guys are dialed in on this. I don't think you really, really care that ESPN has cut positions. But I will say this. When you look at how this has gone down, so ESPN made cuts today. They've announced cuts over the past couple of years. And I've known people, as a matter of fact, that have been on the show. I was texting a guy today that recently got cut himself. And this stuff is just happening. And why it's happening is the entire sports consuming fan has changed the way they want to get plugged in on sports. I'm not saying it's you guys. As I said, you're listening to sports radio, one of the one of the mediums that the ultimate sports fan still listens to, but I think the casual sports fan and the younger generation is not worried about watching Karl Ravech on ESPN. I like Karl Ravech on ESPN, and they're getting rid of Karl Ravech today, right before the Little League World Series next month. I mean, that's my guy on the Little League World Series. Well, nonetheless, Karl Ravech has been at ESPN forever. I mean, some of these guys, they've gotten rid of, some SportsCenter anchors, they were there forever. And so what I'm getting at today, you can find out who all got cut. I'm not going to go through the list, but those are some of the big names. Karl Ravech, Tom Pelissero, he's a big NFL insider, and he was with NFL Network, and ESPN bought NFL Network, and that's all being blamed, and we got redundancies, and you know how the corporate world says, hey, we got redundancies. We need to cut people, and they don't really look at, yeah, should we cut this guy, that guy? What's that going to do to us? What they look at is we have huge expenditures with Pat McAfee, with Stephen A. Smith. Just for example, we have huge expenditures. And by the way, the younger generation is watching the highlight clip from McAfee on their phone right now. They're watching that from McAfee. They're not watching Karl Ravech on the Little League World Series. And so they see some of these guys, I think, well, these guys are replaceables. Pat McAfee, we got to go all in, $60 million a year. We got to go all in because McAfee has kind of the, I don't know what you want to call it, the frat boy stuff, and he gets a little risky, and he has the funny stuff and the goofy stuff, and he puts it on, and you're going to watch the highlights of that. And then Stephen A's got the total debate thing going, right? The louder you are, the better you are. And so these professional broadcasters, and I'm not going to hammer McAfee and Stephen A today. I'm not going to hammer them. But the professional broadcasters, they've been doing this and doing that for many years. They just get kicked to the curb today. This is just the latest rounds. And my point is, I always hear people in South Dakota and even on this program say, man, I miss box scores in the newspaper. I miss stories in the newspaper. And I've covered this over the years. That stuff we liked as sports fans, and then it gets slowly eliminated by the corporate side of this, the corporate machine, and they say, wait, we got too many people. We got too many sports reporters at the Argus Leader. We have too many sports. Why do we need this many people at the Rapid City Journal sports section? And so then they say, oh, those are redundancies. We can have one guy do it all. And so ESPN, I think, is doing the same thing today at a much bigger scale. We've got one guy, for example, Pat McAfee, and that feeds the Bulldog. TV, social media, impressions, the whole thing. We're going to invest in some big hitters, and then we'll just kind of fill the gap with other stuff. And I think most sports fans are going to say, I want to see Karl Ravech covering baseball. I've grown up watching Karl Ravech. He's a pro. He's excellent. I think Tom Pelissero, if you followed him on the NFL side, really good insider. Let's say, wait, do we need Tom Pelissero and Adam Schefter? No. How many insiders do we need? Well, we got, do we need all these guys? Ian Rappaport, NFL Network. Well, we got Adam Schefter. And so you start thinking and you tie two and two together. South Dakota sports media in our world today, it's very similar to what ESPN's telling you. They're telling you, you may like SportsCenter, but we only need Scott Van Pelt now. There is no more Keith Olbermann, Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen, Stuart Scott. We don't need all these personalities. We got Scott Van Pelt. We got Pat McAfee. We got Stephen A. Smith. We'll fill in with the rest. It goes to years ago. We don't need Stu Whitney, Matt Zimmer, Mick Gary. We don't need all of these guys. We'll just grab one and see how that works. And then fans say, man, I miss the sports section of the newspaper, but we're too late. We're too late. I miss this. I miss that. It's the goal. Stephen A. Smith said it today, talking about the ESPN cuts today. Stephen A. Smith said, those days are gone. And I don't want to be the old man tonight, but we wish it was as good as it used to be. And I just had lunch with a friend yesterday, and he said, you know what? Everything today is deteriorating. I said, thanks for the uplifting message. He said, no, sports media, our politics, our AI is deteriorating everything. I mean, and then he looks up something on AI later in the day. I mean, I'm not kidding you. So we want the best coverage. We want, you have parents say, hey, why aren't there reporters out covering this game in Rapid City? Because those days are gone. And there wasn't enough of, whether you want to call it subscriptions, people interested, buying, doing the whole thing. It got overtaken by the corporate side of things. And they say, we can have AI do a bunch of this stuff. Hey, heck, AI could have investigated the University of Michigan Athletic Department and probably done okay, right? Thanks for calling. You're live. Your take on the current sports landscape. You're live. You go ahead.
You know, Nate, I could care less about ESPN. I mean, I watch the Little League World Series. You know, Nate, I've been on your show since you started.
Yes.
I mean, I've been a regular listener, all that.
Dang right.
The happiest day of my life, Nate, when you came on air was two things. A, we finally get a sports show because Bob Laskowski's not around no more.
Yes,
and
legend.
Two,
yeah.
Fox. You were on Fox. It wasn't ESPN.
Sure.
And I go, this Nate Brown, he's worth listening to. So I started listening.
Well, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
You don't get political. ESPN, you know, most of that's all politics and favoritism and a bunch of trying to start stuff. I like the Fox guys. Pat McAfee, really, I mean, if he was my neighbor, I'd probably throw snowballs at him and laugh and giggle. Stephen A., I mean, come on, who can listen to that?
Well, I'm telling you, that's where they're at. Yeah, I get you.
Oh, I know, Nate, but it's like when I complain about the young kids taking over this, that, you're like, oh, it's good for the game, and I'm going, no, this is like a cycle. It's going to hit everything. Now it's hitting everything, and the Little League World Series this year won't be the same.
No, I know. You're right on that. I think Karl Ravech was excellent. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Was.
Thanks for getting in. That's good stuff. That's one of my OGs right there. That's one of my So when you think about this, I just think about it. We say things aren't as good anymore. ESPN's not going to be as good anymore. They're not. There's a reason I've been on Fox Sports Radio, by the way, as I started a Fox Sports Radio affiliate. Why? I saw this type of stuff happening. ESPN was going away from the best of the best. Mike and Mike, SVP, you know where Colin used to be, right? So whether you disagree with Colin or whoever, Fox said, we're going to go this other way. And I'm not telling you Fox is going to get it right and perfect every time. ESPN has said, we're going to go huge rights packages for the SEC, and we're going to go huge dollars there. And then we're going to go all in on some big personalities that we're going to watch on our phones. And the younger generation doesn't care about Karl Ravech. So we want you to watch Stephen A., Pat McAfee, and SVP. And really anybody else, you're like, it doesn't matter anymore. I think it does. I hate when guys lose their jobs, especially they're hearing about it in the media today. I mean, Karl Ravech has been there forever, and even Ryan Clark, the former Steeler, whether you like Ryan or not, he's on a show yesterday, and they have to tell him in the middle of the show, hey, you're done. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. A lot of guys work hard. A lot of those guys over at ESPN worked hard, did a great job. It used to be great. I started by listening to ESPN radio. That's how I started. That was one of the all-timers. They've gone away from good radio stuff, gone away from great play-by-play stuff. SportsCenter's just like goofy. It's goofy. I couldn't tell you hardly anybody on SportsCenter left. And we want it to be like it used to be. At least I do. We say, man, newspapers used to be really, really good. And we fed the bulldog of going this route. We've been feeding it going this route. Let me ask you that question of the day. Does it matter to you that, ESPN cuts announcers like Carl Ravitch today. I'm using him as an example. He's been there a long time. It's still really good. One of the best baseball guys. I'm sure Carl will be in good shape. He'll go to MLB Network or something like that. But does it matter to you? Do you really think, hey, is ESPN getting it right? They're betting that you don't care. Hey, we got all these salaries. Here's the big dogs we're going to give money to, and the debate shows and the goofy college stuff, and meaning the college, there's 7 guys in a studio and everybody's talking over each other. That's what they're betting on. That's the content we want in 2026. Does it matter to you when ESPN cuts great announcers like Carl Ravitch, for example? Does it matter? I just want you to be honest. Nah, it is what it is. They'll just fill in with somebody else. Or, it's a deteriorating product. You tell me on the question of the day. I have people voting. I did ask this on X. 54% are saying, no, it won't impact me watching ESPN either way. 54%. 46% of my audience says it does matter. I won't watch ESPN as much. Now that they're cutting some of their announcers, some of their staff. You tell me on the text line if you could, 605-720-1067. ESPN cutting away. Huge company. Huge dollars being thrown just to a few people. And I think that matters. And then they buy NFL Network and they say, man, we gotta cut the fat here. We gotta cut the fat. We got Adam Schefter. We don't need this guy. Very interesting scenario. We've wanted it to be great back in the day, and it was cut away. And now people are wondering, how come nobody covers high school sports in South Dakota anymore? There's only one radio station in each market that does it. That's why. Because people don't care as much. They do, but they're consuming everything right there in an instant on your phone, the whole thing, and corporate companies say, we don't need all these people covering play-by-play in South Dakota. We still do it. We're going to continue to do it. Coming right back with the UND head football coach. Yeah, we're going to stop around the valley. We'll start at UND with Eric Schmidt live next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Want to do more of what you love and earn cash back doing it? With a Visa Cashback credit card from Black Hills Federal Credit Union, it's possible. Earn 1.5% cash back on everyday purchases like gas and groceries, and use it to fund your shoe obsession, vinyl collection, or airline upgrade. Plus, spend $2,000 in your first 90 days and get a $200 cashback bonus. Learn more at bhfcu.com/cashback. Offer subject to credit approval. Other restrictions apply.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Host your next big event at the Box Elder Event Center, now featuring all new lighting, enhanced sound, and cutting-edge AV. Your destination for conventions, conferences, weddings, tournaments, concerts, and private parties of all kinds. Plus, their gourmet catering isn't just for on-site events, they'll deliver straight to you. Don't miss the Pickle Boo Pickleball Tournament and Fall Hoop Fest. Learn more and book today at thebox.live.
If you're a business owner, you've invested your blood, sweat, and tears into your business. Long days, sleepless nights, all to build something that matters. But what if something happened to you tomorrow? What happens to everything you've built? Do you have a plan? Does your family have a plan? Contact Lee Cruz with New York Life right here in Rapid City. There are affordable options you maybe haven't considered. Just spend 15 minutes protecting what took you years to build. Call Lee Cruz, 605-360-8804, or Google Lee Cruz New York Life.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance of thunderstorms tonight, otherwise mainly cloudy skies expected. Lows dip down to about 64. Winds out of the east 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun again tomorrow. Chance of thunderstorms. Daytime highs approaching 84. Chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night. Lows around 64, mainly cloudy. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 82 degrees.
Take your Deadwood stay to the next level at Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort. Choose Hampton by Hilton or 4 Points by Sheridan, both just steps from the Main Street action. Then play in our 24/7 casino, bet every buzzer beater at the BetMGM Sportsbook, and taste your way through 6 unique dining options. With non-stop events, next-level casino promotions, and everything under one roof on historic Main Street, plan your getaway at tinlizzie.com, where your getaway goes to the next level.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, glad you're here tonight. Busy show. We're going to try and stop around the valley. We're going to try and get updates. We've been all over the place as of now. Just had John Stiegelmeier on yesterday, former South Dakota State head coach. We'll get Dan Jackson here shortly. Matt Vitzum, USD. And I thought, why don't we go to UND? Some high expectations there at UND. And their head coach is Eric Schmidt, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show across the state on South Dakota Sports Talk Show, Fox Sports Radio in Sioux Falls and Rapid City. Coach, good to have you on. I appreciate it. How are you?
I'm great, Nate. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for coming on in the state. I know a lot of people there's UND fans around here, just so you know, Coach. I get UND texts on this show. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I grew up in western North Dakota, so we'd make our way down that way sometimes. So I believe it. There's a good band of UND fans in the western part of both of those states, so it's good.
Okay, you'll take it. Let me ask you about your expectations going into this year. I mean, as a coach, you're saying, well, we got to win the conference. We got to take the steps. You guys were good last year, and I think in a lot of these games they just slipped away. Kansas State, Montana, NDSU. I mean, there's some games right there. What do you see from last year to this year to get you over the top?
Yeah, no, I think there was some good data points just as far as how competitive our guys were week in and week out. I think it's all part of your process and how you go about, doing things day in and day out, and not just in in the season, but what you're doing in the summer, what you're doing in the springtime too as well. And I think those are the things where we really try to double down with our guys, just how we're polishing things, how we're detailing things. And, like I said, those games are data points for you once you get to those points in your calendar.
When you look at it, Coach, big headline is NDSU leaving the Valley, going to the FBS. What's been your reaction to that as you've soaked that in? And it's over, it's done. What does that mean for UND in this conference?
Well, I think, for us, it's playing the games that are on your schedule. I think that's the most important thing that, we want to get to our goals, take our university, to the highest point that it's been in the FCS and that it can get to. And obviously there's some really good football teams in our region, and our league is still, really, really strong. So I think, you look at the top half of our league, and there's probably 5 or maybe even 6 schools that'll be in the top 15 or the top 18 in the country. So you still feel like there's, the health of FCS football, especially, in the Missouri Valley Football Conference is really, really good. And I know the fan bases are going to obviously miss NDSU. I think, you want to win a championship and you want to go through them in order to do it. But there's still obviously, some really big games in the region and a lot to play for here moving forward.
Eric Smith's on tonight, South Dakota Sports Talk Show with the UND head football coach. A lot of people think UND is going to be right there. You were picked 4th in the Valley by coaches, media, that stuff. Are coaches really voting you 4th? What do you think of that?
We don't put a ton of stock into it. I think the top teams. I think South Dakota State's roster, with what they have coming back, probably deservedly so to be the number 1 team in the league. And then I think after that, there's so much, different rosters and things that have taken place since last season, and every year is different. And then let alone just, how transient football can be nowadays with people coming in and leaving and that kind of stuff. I think, you have 9 months to be able to get your team ready to go. I do think, with making it a one portal calendar now, it's added some stability to college football. So now coaches and teams can have their programs ready to go as far as knowing what their rosters are going to be in January. And then, like I said, you got 9 months in order to get your team prepared and ready to go. So I think after South Dakota State, any one of the teams that are, probably the next 5 or 6 teams have the ability to be able to go on a run and to be able to be in the mix and to be in the conversation to win a championship. So ultimately our players are the ones who are going to decide it. We're going to start training camp here in a week. And obviously once you start investing in football, I think you're going to be able to see who the guys are, the teams are, that are going to be able to improve and be able to reach their goals here, starting with training camp in the next week or so.
You said teams change, rosters change. How's your team different this year?
I think the one thing, just consistently that has been good is just being able to keep our big guys. We'll return. We lost one offensive lineman from a year ago who started for us, and then actually returned, 5 starters or 4.5 starters up front. We had one kid get injured that was a starter early on in the season, and then another kid that came in and started the rest of the games. Both of those guys are back, so you kind of have 2 guys that are, interior offensive linemen that started at one position. So I feel really good just, where we're at up front. I think in any football, level that you're in, but especially, in our league, you have to be good at the line of scrimmage. I think that's one thing that's made our league successful and consistently good over the last, 15 or 20 years. And then defensively, the same thing. We have 2 really good edge players, guys who are all conference players that are returning back here. We think we've added some pieces in the middle part of our defense too as well. So I like where we're at there. And I think maybe the biggest difference, is the skill spots. We think we're more skilled than we were a year ago. Some guys that can go out there and they can create their own yards. They can make people miss and break tackles. And I think that's the difference. If we can, not necessarily just gain the yards that the offense is designed to gain, but get some guys out there and get the ball in their hands and let them go get their own yards, that can be a huge shot in the arm for us here in 26.
UND head football coach Eric Schmitz on the Nate Brown Show tonight, Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. So I think your QB's underrated because people talk about, man, there's Chase Mason at SDSU and Brungard at Youngstown State. I mean, there's some good players. Well, your guy's pretty good, I think. What do you think about your QB?
Yeah, I'm really happy that Jerry Kaminsky's going to wear green and white again, this fall, and he's really grown. I think anytime he's a first-year starter as a sophomore a year ago, and there's a learning curve, especially, like I said, when you're playing really good football teams week in and week out, and got off to a really, really good start, and then things, got a little bit harder as we went on throughout the latter part of the year, but just how much he's grown and improved really since last January. You can just see it in his confidence. He's a way better leader now. I think just more vocal, more confident in being able to command a huddle. I think the rest of the guys understand, that too as well. Our receiving core, the relationships and the rapport that he's been able to make with all of our players, but especially our receivers here too as well that we've brought in. I think he's just He just has that. He's evolved into that next level type of player for us. He had a great summer. I think a lot of people know, I'm not sure if your listeners know, but went down to the Manning Passing Academy this summer, which is some of the top quarterbacks in all of college football, and they do a skills competition there, probably something similar to what you used to see back in the Pro Bowl days when they used to have all those guys come out and do some different skills competition, but, was able to win that against, some of the top quarterbacks in the country, regardless of level. So I think just, his confidence, and like I said, being in year 2 now, I just think there's a level of growth, and he's got that type of mindset too as well. He's got a growth mindset where he's constantly trying to become the best version of himself. So I'm excited to see where Jerry can take our offense here this fall.
Jared Kaminsky, QB for UND. Good performance at the Manning Passing Academy here this summer. Eric Schmidt on. A couple more. I'll let you run. The UND head football coach. Why do you say South Dakota State may be the team to beat?
I just think, there's so much talk about the offenses in this league, and deservedly so, right, with the quarterbacks that have all chosen to come back and return. I think a lot of good skill players. I think defensively it'll probably be the difference, the separator between, the teams that end up, first, second, third in the league and the teams that end up maybe towards the back end of the league. I think, they have some really good pieces on defense, some guys that are coming back now that maybe were injured or, younger that are returning from a year ago. So I think that's ultimately, in my opinion, is what's going to separate the teams that are going to be, talked about to be able to win the championships in November, and who's going to carry that trophy, and then, who's not going to be in that conversation. I think they just, they have some pieces up front, and then also too at the second level. I think their linebacking core is a really good group. Those 3 guys back there all return and are really good football players. So that's probably the one noticeable difference between them and maybe some of the other teams that are also in the conversation too as well.
Who fills that role for the rival for UND? Do you need a rival?
Yeah, I think it's the Dakota schools yet, right? Like, our fan base is still border one another. I think those games now, we're used to have 3 of them. I think anytime you played a Dakota school, there was always, a little bit more emphasis put on those games just because the fan bases border each other. We see those coaches more than any other staffs that you see out on the road. We all recruit, similar areas. And so I just think those 2 games now, there's just probably more added importance to them with our fan base and our players just because of, the proximity. And then I think the success of the programs too as well, right? Like, our valley or our league, the Missouri Valley Football Conference now is, the Dakota schools have now been in the conversation. Multiple Dakota schools have been in the conversation here now as far as, playoff implications, as far as winning the league, that kind of stuff moving forward. So I think the combination of, they're not being as many of us anymore, and then also, just the success of the programs that, I think our guys understand that, hey, those games are important, not just because of the geography that goes into it, but also being able to, to go win and be able to beat a really good football team that's probably going to be in the conversation when the season's over.
UND has a record 11 players on the Valley preseason watch list ready to roll. Eric Schmidt, head coach at UND. Do you appreciate my friend Dom Izzo voting you number 1 if he had a vote? He said you're number 1 in the conference. Is that good or not?
Well, Dom's probably spending a lot of time in the Mountain West right now, so I don't know how much time he spent really looking through all the rosters. No, I'm just kidding, but no, yeah. I think, like I said, our guys, they understand the work that goes into it. They've been working, doing what they need to do here, doing it with intent, doing it with precision all the way back, since January. I think we got a lot of guys back. You opened up the show talking about a lot of the close games, losing in the last, minutes of the NDSU game, the Kansas State game, the South Dakota State game in overtime.
Yeah.
A lot of those games, South Dakota was 21-26. So talk about the learning curve for Jerry. I think the learning curve for, everybody in our program, me included, just to be able to get better here. But I definitely feel like there's a lot of guys who are starving, just because of some of those outcomes that we had a year ago, and excited to get another chance at it here in the not so distant future.
Taking a tour around the Valley, we go to UND today here on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. They got a good team ready to go. Eric Schmitz, the head coach. Coach, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate the conversation.
Awesome. You bet, man. Thanks for having me. You have a good rest of your summer.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate your time. Eric Schmidt, UND head football coach. He's done a nice job. He was at Washington. He's at San Diego State. Former UND player and now back as head coach. He was the D coordinator for UND here years ago. Then went the FBS route, Washington, San Diego State, and now back at UND as the head man. They were close a lot last year. Maybe some surprising games that people like, man, is UND right there? They were close. And a lot of people think that's a team under the radar big time in the Valley. 11 players on the preseason watch list for the conference. They think they're pretty stacked. Good at QB, good up front on the O-line and D-line. He said, we got better skill guys this year. UND, keep an eye on them. We'll continue to go around the Valley as the countdown happens. Training camp coming up for the FCS programs. Let's go to James Merilatt. He's been in the media a long time. What does he say about the changing sports media landscape? Does it matter that ESPN cuts some major announcers and major names? Do you care? James Merilatt from DenverSports.com on the way.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Sagging, bouncing, or uneven floors? Call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Standing water or high humidity? Nasty odors or dangerous mold? Call Blackburn. Critters, bugs, or other pests? That's right, call Blackburn. It's a fact. Crawl space problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Call Blackburn Foundation Repair today.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Are you looking for your next truck or SUV? Spearfish Motors has you covered. Last month, we traded for a great selection of quality pre-owned trucks, priced to fit every budget. Shopping for an SUV? Check out a great selection, every size, every style, and every price point, and all priced under market. Every pre-owned vehicle here is locally sourced, backed by the team you know and trust, and ready for your next adventure. Call, click, or stop by Spearfish GMC Cadillac today, or shop 24/7 at spearfishmotors.com.
At Connect Home Center, they've been a part of the Mead Lumber family since 2000. Now, they're bringing everything together under one trusted name, Mead Lumber. Don't worry, your favorite team, great service, and high-quality products aren't going anywhere. Connect Home Center is becoming Mead Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name. From design to finish, here for you every step of the way. Check them out at meadlumber.com.
The action doesn't stop when the game starts.
Back at the wall, tie game!
Wager Sportsbook and Grill is now open at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort, serving crave-worthy eats, ice-cold drinks, and non-stop energy. Dig into wings, smash burgers, and loaded bowls, then get in on the action at the BetMGM Sportsbook. Bet big, eat well, and catch every play from the front row. Learn more at CadillacJacksGaming.com. Every bite, every play, Wagers delivers.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a goodbye with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Josie's on a vacation far away. Come around and talk it over. So many things that I want to say. You know I like my girls a little bit.
All right, we're here. We're live. South Dakota Sports Talk Show across the state. KWSN Sioux Falls, welcome in East River. Also on Fox Sports Rapid City, welcome in West River, connecting South Dakota sports fans. Which side's better? Well, we're not going to go there today. We won't go there today. The Nate Brown Show is on. Appreciate you making this show possible. From high school to college to the pros, we still try and hit you with South Dakota sports talk and the things you're interested in. Not everything. I mean, we're not going to hit it, every time, but we're going around the valley. We're going to try and check in at all the programs. We just got done at the University of North Dakota, UND football. Head coach Eric Schmidt. High expectations there for UND, kind of under the radar, though. They're like, well, South Dakota State's the best team, right? But who's the biggest threat to South Dakota State in the valley in FCS? North Dakota State's gone. They're going to the Mountain West, so they're gone. South Dakota State's the team to beat. Who's the biggest threat? Question of the day. We'll get into that. James Merilatt joining us live from DenverSports.com. He's been in the media a long time. I'm not going to tell you how long. He's been in there like me a long time. Covers the Denver sports scene. James, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, Nate. How is Black Hills State looking this year?
Okay. Not bad.
Okay.
What's the reference there? I remember this. What's the reference?
They do a lot of recruiting down here. My son plays at Broomfield High School here in the North Metro area, and Black Hills is always kind of in the mix. And I knew it was in Spearfish. I've been up there a few times to go to Sturgis, so I know where Spearfish is, and I knew of that school. So I figured I'd ask the expert. You're just a few miles down the road?
Yes, and I will get plugged in on Black Hills State. I'll give you a scouting report. Okay, we'll give you a look at that. By the way, you're a Sturgis. You've been to the Sturgis Rally, which is coming up next month. James Merilatt, what are you on a Harley? What are you doing?
Yeah, back in the day. So the last one I had, though, was a 03 Fat Boy. So it was a 100th anniversary Fat Boy, and I got rid of that once I had kids. So I haven't been out there in almost 20 years, but no, that's a good time. I came twice. It was a great time. It's unlike anything else. You got to see it to get it.
Yes, you are right on that. I've done many, many remotes at the Sturgis Rally over the years. Okay, I did not take you for a rally guy, and there's another life of James Merilatt. Okay, I told you, you've been in the media a long time. You've done sports radio. Now you're on the digital side as well. You still do it all, but DenverSports.com, and that just tells me how we've transitioned. So it's not just 104.3 The Fan. That's what it is, but it's also, we got a whole operation at DenverSports.com. I bring this up because ESPN, I started out by listening to ESPN Radio, the Colin Cowherds, the Mike and Mikes, the whole thing, those great shows for so many years. And now ESPN just continues to shift. They cut more. They cut major names like Karl Ravech today. Do you think like cuts today, does that matter to sports fans listening to this right now?
I think some of them do, yeah. I think, some of the cuts they made today, Karl Ravech would be probably at the top of the list in terms of someone who's been there a long, long time. Just one of those voices that when you hear it, you know it. It sort of sets the scene. I know he did a lot of stuff with, the Little League World Series, that he was kind of the voice of that for more than a decade, and just those kind of events that when you hear it, you recognize it. Maybe not a name everybody knows, but, if you just think back to sort of the heyday of ESPN, and we're probably talking 15 years ago now, but all the names that we all sort of either grew up watching or kind of became huge sports fans watching them, they're all gone. They've all gone and done their own thing, whether it's Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen, they've left for other networks. They've gone on to, go do things outside the sports world. It's just changing a ton. And now when you turn on ESPN, most of the time, outside of maybe Scott Van Pelt when he's doing SportsCenter after a Monday night game or something like that. For the most part, they're kind of a bunch of anonymous folks that you're not really sure who they are anymore. So the names we grew up on, from Linda Cohn to to Dan Patrick to all the rest of them, Chris Berman, it's just I guess it's a sign of the times, right? Things change, things move on, but in terms of personality driven, I would not say ESPN on the radio side or the TV side at this point is particularly personality driven. They're driven by the products that they've spent a lot of money on, and at the top of that list is the NBA.
Okay, so you're going that route, like the rights, the NBA, the SEC, that route. I was looking at it saying, wait, I kind of think of a newspaper. Newspapers had 15 people in a sports department, like Denver Post or whatever it is. Huge. And great writers, and writers you would know back in the day. Well, then they kind of looked at it, they said, well, numbers went down, subscriptions went down. Corporate, we can cut some stuff here. Maybe we only need like 2 people to do 15 people's jobs. That's what ESPN, they're going, we got Pat McAfee, we got Stephen A., we got SVP. Why do we need all these other big names? That's what I'm wondering. Is that a good investment? 3, 4 big names, big contracts.
Well, given the fact that SportsCenter just isn't what it used to be, it's probably not a terrible direction to go. Maybe that's a not quite enough big names, but you throw Mike Greenberg in there, and he's a part of their big morning show, and they really kind of have to have some tentpole type of shows. So, Get Up is one of those in the morning, First Take is one of those, McAfee is one of those, and then SVP. I guess that's kind of the 4 that they have.
Yeah.
I don't know. The morning ones are kind of appointment television, just from the standpoint of nothing else is going on in the morning. So, like, you turn it on and have it on while you're having breakfast or shaving or whatever you're doing, right? But like in the evenings and the afternoons, there's so much else happening. The need to turn over for me to channel 206 and watch SportsCenter, I haven't had that thought in 15 years. I really haven't.
Right.
But yeah, they spend a ton of money on SEC, NBA. Their subscribers are going down. That's the lion's share of where they made their revenue as cord cutting just continues to happen, and then the price of all these things just keeps going up as Netflix gets involved and Prime gets involved and all the rest of it. So they're a bit of a dying business model. So they're hanging their hat on going with 2 or 3 stars as opposed to having a really, really good lineup. It's a very top heavy roster. I'll put it that way. It kind of reminds me of the Rockies. Like, you used to look at the Rockies back in the day, and it'd be Nolan made a lot of money, Charlie made a lot of money. There'd be 3 or 4 guys, but then you'd get to the mean or the median or mode or whatever it is, the one in the middle, and that guy, the 15th highest paid guy on the roster, is making league minimum, which means more than half the roster is making league minimum. So not a lot of depth and not a lot of guys outside the stars that you can count on to deliver. I think ESPN's facing very much that same situation.
Okay, this is a radio show, but we stream on X, on YouTube. We put podcasts up. We have to do that. We're one of the only ones that do that whole gamut in South Dakota. Where is the sports consumer, James, today? Where are they?
I think they're in. Part of the problem is they're in a number of places, but I think first and foremost they're on social media. I think they're on, I consider YouTube social media. So they're on YouTube, they're on X, they're on TikTok, they're on Facebook. I've told people this, and it's funny because I write for a website, but if I was starting a sports media company now, I don't know that I'd have a website. I really don't. People get their news and get their information off of social. You see the posts there, you watch the video there, you get if I have an opinion on the Broncos game, instead of writing a 1,000-word column that's going to be on the website, I'm much better off to do a TikTok video or a YouTube video, put it on X, put it on Facebook. It's the same content, it's the same topic, it's the same take, but it's just delivered in a different manner. So I think for the most part they're on social. I think radio is one of those things, people have been telling me for 25 years radio's dying. Here we are, it hasn't died yet. I think it'll evolve. And there'll be more on-demand type of stuff, but people still like to listen. They love podcasts. They like to listen in their car. They like to be able to hear people talk about their favorite team. So I don't think local radio is going away anytime soon.
All right, last one on this. ESPN with some big cuts today. James Merilatt on tonight. He's with DenverSports.com. He's on X at James Merilatt. Follow him if you're not, for Broncos takes and more. So I'm thinking about this. How do I differentiate between James Merilatt? Hey, I'm watching him on the video, and Tommy D, who just started something in a basement yesterday. I mean, everybody and their mother's doing videos.
Yeah. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, to be honest with you. I mean, when I started in the sports media business, I ended up just starting Mile High Sports Magazine because I wanted to do something here in Denver. I didn't want to move. But back in the day, it was you move to Walla Walla, Washington, and you cover, high school sports, and you kind of work your way up and do that kind of thing. Now you don't have to do that. The point that there's a much bigger or much simpler ease of entry. Like, you can get in and just do your own thing if you can do quality, right? If you can do a really good show from your basement and have good opinions and the production's good and all the rest of it, you can get in. There aren't these gatekeepers at the networks or the big radio stations or the big TV stations or the big newspapers. It does offer us where, hey, we can get more people in there. You get people that maybe aren't quote-unquote traditional personalities. You can get folks that might have been overlooked. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but as a consumer, it does give you so many options it can become overwhelming. But look, if the quality's good, and that's not just appearance in terms of graphics and high res and all that kind of stuff, but quality in terms of the takes, I don't care if it's somebody sitting in a $1 million studio in New York City or a guy sitting in his basement. Give me the one that gives me the better quality content.
All right, speaking of takes, quality takes, James Merilatt, give me the take. Bo Nix is ranked number 59 by the players. He was 64 last year. He gets to the AFC Championship and the injury. We know the story, but moves up 5 spots. What do you say?
I mean, I'm not going to be outraged by it because I think it's about right. I think it's a little low. I think he's probably top 50 player, but, I think he's maybe 10 spots away from where he should be. If he was 48, 49, I'd be fine with it. I think Bo Nix is underappreciated and underrated. I saw a list that just came out, had him ranked as the 19th best quarterback in the league. I just think that's laughable. It's a team that went 14-3, 15-3 if you count their playoff win over Buffalo, and then when he got hurt, they couldn't do anything. They would have gone to the Super Bowl. They would have had a puncher's chance to win it with him. I don't know what people want to see from him. He's got a much better arm than I thought he had coming out of University of Oregon. He runs around and makes plays with his feet much more than I thought he did. My pre-draft analysis of Bo Nix was off. As soon as they took him at number 12 take and saying he was, it was a reach and they're going to be looking for a quarterback again a couple of years ago was off. I think people just want to put him down because they want their pre-draft analysis to be right. They're not willing to say, man, now that I've seen this guy play at this level, he does everything you'd want him to do. He makes clutch plays. He went toe-to-toe with Josh Allen in a playoff game. I don't get it. I don't know what more he needs to do. I guess he could be more consistent early in games, but I think that's a byproduct of the way Sean Payton was calling games. And, you got a really good defense. You got a young quarterback. Don't make mistakes and, kind of get behind the 8 ball early in a game. I think he's just going to continue to progress. I think he's going to have a 4,000-yard season. I think he's a 35-touchdown guy. And, look, if people want to underrate him, that's fine. This is a team that's just going to continue to win a lot of games. And if you're not bullish on the Broncos this season, I just think you're being a hater. And I'm as critical of this team as anybody.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to go 14-3 again. I don't. They're going to be better and probably have a worse record because you got to catch a lot of green lights to go 14-3. But this is a 12-win plus team. They're going to contend for the AFC West. They're going to contend for the 1 seed. And when they get in the tournament, they can beat anybody.
James Merilatt popping in, DenverSports.com here on the Nate Brown Show. Good to have him. Find him on X at James Merilatt. Always appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Anytime.
Thanks a lot. James Merilatt on tonight from DenverSports.com. Find him on X at James Merilatt live, part of 104.3 The Fan in Denver, the sports leader. All right, good stuff there from James tonight. Nate Brown Show live. Question of the day. Let's get into this. Calling all FCS football fans. Are you an FCS football fan? Jacks, Yotes, here in the state. I'm calling all fans to answer our question of the day. Who is the biggest threat to South Dakota State this year? That's my question of the day. Tell me on the text line. Give me your vote. We're going to add them up. You talking Yotes, great running game. Question is the quarterback. Big question. So I have a hard time with the Yotes. I don't know. Big question mark at QB. You Yotes fans, tell me if you're set there. Matt Vitzlam said it's going to be a competition with a few guys. Great running backs coming back. I mean, outstanding. So you got the running game, but who's the biggest threat on the field to South Dakota State? With North Dakota State gone, who is the biggest threat to the Jacks? I just had UND head football coach on tonight, Eric Schmidt. He said South Dakota State is the team to beat. He said everybody after that in the top half, it's anybody. Who's the biggest threat? Illinois State made that improbable run last year. They come back. Youngstown State, great quarterback. Okay, you got USD, you got UND. Biggest threat to South Dakota State, our question of the day, 605-720-1067. Vote for me. Not for me. Vote for me in the poll. Who's the biggest threat to the Jacks? We'll look at it as we come back.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
If you're grilling this weekend, be sure to have plenty of Village Hearth buns on hand. Fancy equipment and secret sauces are great, but once you've mastered the basics, it's all about the bun. Your perfectly grilled burgers and hot dogs deserve the best, and with several varieties to choose from, including unsliced old-fashioned, classic white or wheat, country potato, and mini sliders, the bakers of Village Hearth have the buns your family will love. Village Hearth buns, locally baked and delivered fresh daily.
Serious DIYers know when it comes to brake jobs, quality matters. Now through August 31st, buy a set of Perfect Stop brake pads at your local Auto Value Parts store and receive a free can of brake cleaner. Perfect Stop brake pads are engineered to restore optimal braking performance while delivering quiet, dependable stopping power. Stop by your local Auto Value Parts store today, where we've got the parts, we've got the smarts, and your free can of brake cleaner too.
Certified Honda value has never looked better at Danny Manuel Rushmore Honda. Take advantage of 1.99% APR financing on select Honda certified pre-owned. Choose from Honda Civics, Accords, HRVs, and CRVs. That's 1.99% APR financing on our Honda certified pre-owned. Shop a huge selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs with over 370 to choose from. Drive with certified confidence at Danny Manuel Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. Length of finance contract is limited with qualified credit. Expires 7/31/26.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance of thunderstorms. Tonight, otherwise mainly cloudy skies expected. Lows dip down to about 64. Winds out of the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun again. Tomorrow, chance of thunderstorms. Daytime highs approaching 84. Chance of thunderstorms. Tomorrow night, lows around 64, mainly cloudy. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 82 degrees.
Are you ready to feel good in your skin? Visit the dermatology experts at Sanford Health Tower Road Clinic in Rapid City. Our growing team offers skin, hair, and nail care close to home. Here you have access to acne treatments, Botox, and laser therapy. You can also trust our experts to help you manage skin cancer screenings and treatments. It's total skincare personalized for you. Schedule a skin cancer screening or learn more about our services at sanfordhealth.org.
No one comes close to the selection of spirits at the best price than your Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. This month's specials include a $6 savings on Pendleton 750s, now just $18.99. All flavors of Bacardi rums, just $15.99 for the 750. And for a great gift, check out Mr. Liquor's exclusive selection of etched bottles featuring popular landmarks like Mount Rushmore, Devil's Tower, the B-21 Raider, and more. Available at both Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City, off Cantron next to Walmart, or the original Mr. Liquor on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards. Find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
All right, it is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. You found us on Fox Sports Radio, your great stations across the state. Fox Sports Rapid City, welcome in. Also, KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls. Glad you're here. Matt Zimmer's coming up. We'll talk Missouri Valley and more with Matt Zimmer, his take. SiouxFallsLive.com. That's coming up. Second hour ready to go. Asking for your votes. And our question of the day, speaking of the Missouri Valley, I just talked to Eric Schmidt tonight. We're going to pop around the Valley, trying to get as many coaches on the show as we can. We started with UND tonight. We've had Dan Jackson, obviously, Matt Vincent, obviously. We'll get them again as they get ready for camp here. But Eric Schmidt was on for the first time on this show, head coach UND. They're sneaky. They're sneaky. Good quarterback coming back, underrated, as opposed to some of the other guys in the conference. Brungard at Youngstown State's off the charts, really good. The Illinois State QB last year just came out of nowhere. So some of these guys are just like, wait, that's like the UND kid, I think, Kaminsky. So I think he's good. Chase Mason, though, everybody said, man, that's the guy at South Dakota State. So I said, who's the team to beat in the Valley? And Eric Schmidt told me tonight, the UND head football coach, he said, South Dakota State, you look at them, and he felt like they were the team to beat. And he told me tonight, though, he said, we're going to be improved. We got good O-line back, a lot of guys back, almost everybody. D-line, a couple of edge rushers, kind of all-conference guys, he thinks. And then he's really happy with his QB. So UND was right there in a ton of games last year. And then you're like, man, were they really that good? They almost beat Kansas State in the opener. Lost to South Dakota State in OT. Well, SDSU had the injuries. I understand, but UND got a couple of first-place votes in the Valley, and Eric Schmidt feels pretty good about his guys. If you missed some of these interviews, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. A little reminder, maybe you don't catch all of this show live. You have a life. You have things to do. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Coach Schmidt was on earlier tonight from UND. Good conversation with him about his program and the Valley and what he sees. So I'm asking you, the listener of the Nate Brown Show tonight, FCS football fans across the state, who is the biggest threat then to South Dakota State? If you're going to tell me the Jacks are favored, which you got to tell me that, you have to say that. No NDSU. South Dakota State, if they stay healthy, they've got the horses. They've got the guys. So SDSU's the favorite. Who's the biggest threat to the Jacks this season? We're only, week away from starting camp here, essentially, a week away. Who's the biggest threat to South Dakota State this season? On the Nate Brown Show, question of the day, 605-720-1067. Votes coming in. Let's look at the results. USD. Well, that's what I expected from you guys. Why not? You can't, if you're a Yotes fan, you can't lay down here. You're going to say, hey, we got great running back coming back. Everybody forgets we had an injury. He's coming back. So great running back. QB's a big question without Bauman. Bauman's been the mainstay. He was the real deal. So I don't know about the QB, so I can't say USD tonight. I appreciate you guys saying USD. I mean, you have to. I appreciate the passion and the commitment. You're not going to lay down and USD fans listen to this program across the state vote for somebody else. So USD, our number one vote getter on the text line. Wait, I have I found this one here in the text line thread. Listener text 605-720-1067 is how you text the show. Here it is. This is from a Yote fan. Youngstown State's the biggest threat. Too many questions for the Yotes at QB. Okay, so he's Yote fan saying, I can't do USD. I can't do USD. And he just got his tailgating policy in the mail, too, and he's a little depressed. I'm kidding. I saw that. I'm kidding. Lister text, I'm going to go UND. So that's a Lister text now. Number one vote getter on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Biggest threat to the Jacks, USD. second, UND, third, Illinois State. I don't know if they're going to run it back. Didn't that feel like the perfect storm? I mean, they got by NDSU, they stunned them, and everyone's like, what? And then they were the perfect storm. They had a nice finish there, Brock Spack and Illinois State. Do they run that back? I mean, they had a great QB playing. I don't think so. I'm taking Illinois State out. They're not going to be a walkthrough. I mean, this is not Indiana State or anything like that, Northern Iowa. But I'm taking Illinois State out of the running. But you guys voted Illinois State third, and then Youngstown State coming in last, at least on this show, out of the top half. I mean, we're not throwing in the other teams. No Murray States, people like that. Biggest threat to South Dakota State this season, USD getting most of the votes. UND second. What's my vote? I have to be honest with you, right? I'm an honest broker. And maybe I'm recency biased because I just had UND head coach Eric Schmidt on, but I'm looking at it. QB solid. O-line, everybody back. D-line, couple of edge guys, really good. Preseason watch list. They got 11 players on the Valley watch list. That's voted on by the coaches. I'm going UND because they were right there anyway. Barely lost to North Dakota State. Barely lost to South Dakota State, barely lost to the Grizz, barely lost to Kansas State. That was last year, and I think they're better. I'm going to go Jacks 1, UND 2 tonight. I want USD to be right there. Just tell me what's going on at QB. We're going to find out in the next month. We'll find out what's going on at QB in the next month. That'll be the big question. Big question there at Vermilion. Let's come back with this. So the NCAA, they're always out in front of stuff, right? If you listen to this show, you understand my sarcasm, right? You hope NCAA trying to, boy, they have a big problem. They want to ban this, and they just had a big conversation on Capitol Hill today. The NCAA, they're trying to get out in front of this. They want to ban this. Guys, I already talked about this on the show 2 months ago, and now the NCAA is joining the party. We'll get into what they're talking about next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Mom, can we please go to Waitiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Waitiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Waitiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WaitikiWaterPark.com.
The following radio ad is Good Fun Squad approved.
My name is Jenny, and I'm the lady at the South Dakota Lottery who writes out those big checks for our winners. It's a lot of fun, but we've had so many big winners lately, my hand is tired. There was a $600,000 winner, a $2 million winner, a $4 million winner. That's a lot of zeros, and not normal zeros, big check zeros, and the winning never stops. That's why I'm learning to write with both hands.
Good fun.
Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Hi, I'm Tim Wrench, and I'm seeking personal injury cases. If you've been injured because someone else did something wrong, call me up. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried criminal and civil cases for decades, and I can use all of that experience to help you. I also know this, that when insurance companies know that you're represented by a trial lawyer, they take your claim more seriously, and if it is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Don't shop what's left, shop what's coming. New Toyotas are arriving daily at Denny Manhill Toyota. Reserve your next Toyota before it ever hits the lot. Plus, qualified buyers can get 5.49% APR financing for 72 months on select Toyota certified used Camrys and Corollas. We're paying top dollar for clean used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Experience the fast, friendly, and fair way to buy or sell your vehicle at Denny Manhill Toyota or DennyManhillToyota.com. $1,633 per finance regardless of down with qualified credit. Expires 8/31/2026.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning, and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
What are you doing?
Just getting in the holiday spirit.
Isn't it a little early for jingle bells and Christmas in general?
It's never too early for Christmas, but Renewal by Anderson's Christmas in July sale just got me in the mood.
A window sale started all of this?
It's not just any window sale. It's Renewal by Anderson.
Okay, settle down. I'll get the ladder, and we'll get started hanging the lights.
Renewal by Anderson's Christmas in July sale. 20% off every window and door. No money, no payment, and no interest for 18 months with approved credit. This means no payments till 2028. Hurry, the holiday savings end August 15th. Hassle-free, energy-efficient, low-maintenance windows with a professional fit. Renewal by Anderson uses Fibrex windows, keeping your home cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter, and reduces your energy bill. They do windows. They're the experts. No subcontractors. For a free in-home estimate and a perfect fit, go to RBARapidCity.com. That's RBARapidCity.com. Renewal by Anderson, when only the best will do.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, glad you're here. Appreciate you. It's always a great day in South Dakota. You know that's been a little warm, as you can tell. Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Fox Sports Radio, our great stations across the state. KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, great station, and we appreciate you joining us all the time on Fox Sports Rapid City. Coming up live, Matt Zimmer is going to pop in, talking FCS. We're a week or two for some of these programs in the Valley to get going. Matt Zimmer's coming up, his take on the Valley and more, SiouxFallsLive.com. Matt Zimmer's coming up. I just saw the next opponent next year, first opponent for the Jacks. I just saw that. We're going to get that out there as well. Matt Zimmer's on the way tonight, SiouxFallsLive.com. If you want to be a part of the program, join us on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Powered by the Pizza Ranch, 2 great locations, East River. Stop by in Brandon, the Fun Zone Arcade, excellent. Bring the family. It's been too hot to cook. I'm telling you, go to the Pizza Ranch Buffet at East 10th Street in Sioux Falls as well. 2 great spots, East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, and in Brandon, the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. The Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, 605-720-1067. Hit us there. One more thing, Barron's Wilson text line open for you. Text the show if you want in the conversation, 605-720-1067. We are taking votes tonight. Who is the biggest threat to the Jacks in the Missouri Valley? Biggest threat. USD winning the vote so far, and we got to have it. Got to have that rivalry. I mean, we want that rivalry to be good. NDSU's gone. That's a big hit. The Dakota Marker, that's a big hit. So we want SDSU, USD to be even better. When USD has been good, that's great. Can USD continue to climb? Got to get a QB now. I think they got a good model there. The culture's changed. Matt Vitsum's going to take over. I think USD's on the rise. I would not put them number 2. I would not. I'm going UND. So let's see how this plays out. I'm voting UND. Our votes have been USD tonight. UND is coming in second on the Nate Brown Show. Okay, I got to update you on this. So a couple of months ago, I told you South Dakota missed the boat on mobile sports wagering earlier this year during the legislative session, and I've covered this over the years doing this show. I've had legislators on from Pierre, and there's always been a bill, and they say we should do mobile sports wagering because there's tax revenue. All the other states around us are doing it. You know, people wouldn't go from Sioux Falls over to Iowa and just, cross the line and take the revenue there. So there's many reasons, and some people argue, I don't like sports betting at all. I don't like betting at all. I understand they're in one category. But the problem I have is now, this year, 2026, people are betting on sports, and it's not coming through South Dakota, but they're still betting on sports. The thing you don't want them to do or don't like them to do, we're just missing the boat on any benefit from it because they're using the predictive markets. So this predictive market thing is taking over everything. I don't know which one you guys use, Kalshi, Polymarket, and then FanDuel's gotten into this, DraftKings has gotten into this. So they don't call them sports bets, they're sports predictions. And they work the deal so then they don't get in trouble by the government. And all these states are letting it happen, including South Dakota, where we say, no. You got to bet on sports through Deadwood. You got to go to our favorite place, Tin Lizzy, Cadillac Jacks, BetMGM Sportsbook. That's where I've gone. That's where you have to go. And South Dakota said, we're going to stick with that. And I said, we're going to miss this, and we missed it. Kalshi, Polymarket, FanDuel, all the sports predictions are going on right now, and you've texted into the show. You've shown me your screenshots. You guys that listen to the show are doing it wherever you're listening from, the Sioux Falls Metro, wherever. You're betting on sports. You go, You're predicting sports outcomes and then winning money. Well, guess what? The NCAA has a big announcement today. They want to have the government ban predictive markets for college sports betting. Why do I laugh? Well, I'm just telling you, it is July 21st. And the NCAA has a big stink here today. They're on Capitol Hill with lawmakers, including South Dakota's Dusty Johnson there at the subcommittee, at the committee. Yeah, Dusty Johnson was involved in this conversation. The NCAA saying, we can't have people doing prediction markets on college sports. This is ripe for abuse. This is not good. You can do prop bets on college sports. We can't have it. Now, I'm here to tell you, I understand what they're saying. I don't think prop bets are good for college sports. I really don't. That's where you end up with the scandals. This guy that should get under 8 rebounds just gets under 8 rebounds. Still going to help his team. I'm going to get 7. That's what I mean by the prop bets. And so the NCAA, July 2026, they finally bring up, we can't have this prediction market stuff in college sports. You're too late. They had to have known about this before me. I started getting on this in 2026, like, wait, this is going live in South Dakota where it's illegal to bet on sports on your phone? Well, no, yeah, it's live. And now the NCAA is saying, hey, we got to stop this. Remember what they also tried stopping years ago? NIL, we got to stop this. Sure. And then it happened. And then they go, wait. And are they still working on a government solution to stopping the NIL or capping the NIL or stopping the transfer portal? I think they're still working on that. So sports prediction markets, Kalshi, Polymarket, those, FanDuel, they're going to be taking college sports predictions right here, right now. NCAA says we have to ban it. They're so far late to the game, it's not even close. It's not even close. Dusty Johnson said, what did he say? I have to read this. I have to read this from Dusty today. Dusty closed his remarks and said, here it is, subcommittee chairman. Everybody agrees about the importance of market integrity and customer protection. I think this subcommittee needs to continue to explore whether or not there are sufficient tools to ensure market integrity and customer protection. You heard that, right? We all agree that this is about consumer protection and market integrity. We have the subcommittee. We'll continue to explore for the next 4 years market integrity and consumer protection. Yeah, we'll get back to you on that. Unbelievable. Prediction markets are live in South Dakota. College sports, football season starting. And it's going to be right there. NCAA doesn't want it. I get it. They don't want the prop bet stuff. They don't want it. It's already there. Kalshi added 3 million new users for the World Cup over the past month. Kalshi added 3 million new users for people predicting the World Cup. And so here comes 3 million more for the college football season. Just wait. And the NCAA's sounding the alarm. Just a little late. Just a little late. Matt Zimmer's coming up next. SiouxFallsLive.com on the way.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
All kinds of vehicles, all kinds of loans. All as low as 4.99% APR. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we're here to help all kinds of people, just like you. Get moving. From truck drivers to van warriors, we got the right loan to fit your style with rates as low as 4.99% APR. Wherever the road takes you, start with BHFCU. Apply today at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818.
Offer subject to credit approval. BHFCU is member owned and insured by NCUA.
Sagging, bouncing, or uneven floors? Call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Standing water or high humidity? Nasty odors or dangerous mold? Call Blackburn. Critters, bugs, or other pests? That's right, call Blackburn. It's a fact. Crawl space problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Call Blackburn Foundation Repair today.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance of thunderstorms. Tonight, otherwise mainly cloudy skies expected. Lows dip down to about 64. Winds out of the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun again. Tomorrow, chance of thunderstorms. Daytime highs approaching 84. Chance of thunderstorms. Tomorrow night, lows around 64, mainly cloudy. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 81.
Are you tired of being pointed to a wall of shoes? At Trav's Outfitter, we know better. Buying shoes shouldn't be guesswork. That's why we find the right footwear for the way you move, whether you're walking, working, or just on your feet all day. Athletics, work boots, Western boots, everyday comfort. Because when the fit is right, life is better. Come find us in the old Kmart building. Trav's Outfitter, best selection, best service, no BS.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely, and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger? Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
Looking for a great place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
All right, it is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We're live on Fox Sports Radio, KWSN Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City, the radio side. Also stream us a couple of different spots. Midwest Sports Plus. These guys do a great job. High school sports live. Some great college coverage there. Midwest Sports Plus, we're streaming live there. And X. Follow us and watch us live at Nate Brown Show on X. Answer our question of the day on X and participate. I'm going to throw out the question of the day to Matt Zimmer. He's back on tonight. He's with Sioux Falls Live. He was at Valley Media Days last week. Matt Zimmer on tonight. Here's my question of the day. Eric Schmidt, UND head football coach, was on live tonight. He said, South Dakota State seems like the team to beat. And he said, everybody else in the top half, it's wide open in the Valley. So who's the biggest threat to the Jacks in the Valley?
Oh, I
I think, and I've been saying this a couple other places, I think North Dakota, Eric Schmidt's team, is the second best team after the Jacks, just based on returning personnel. But I did pick Youngstown State second in my preseason poll because they have an easier schedule than North Dakota. And kind of the same goes for USD. I think USD is really good, but their schedule's really tough. Illinois State's really good. He's right. It really does look like it's pretty wide open. I mean, I don't even know how far ahead SDSU is and everybody else. It looks like they are because they have so many more returning players. But those 2 through 6 are all probably going to be playoff contenders. I wouldn't be surprised if they all made the playoffs. That's how dominant the Valley is, even with NDSU out of there. So, roundabout way, I think UND is the second best team. I think Youngstown State has a schedule that positions them to maybe be in the picture too, but there's going to be 4, 5, 6 teams that are all in the mix.
Okay, so you think UND's right there. I'm looking at the quarterback. He thinks he's going to be pretty darn good. He said, yeah, Kaminsky was good last year, but he likes his growth. He says we're really good on the O-line, everybody back. A couple of D-end edge rushers that are really good. He thinks their skill guys are going to be better. Did you think UND was good last year, losing close ones to Kansas State, to Montana, to SDSU? I mean, close ones here. Did you think they were good last year?
I mean, they've been good for a long time. Obviously they were a Division II powerhouse. They haven't had, obviously, the same success at Division I that any of the other Dakota schools have had, but they're always right there. They beat the Jacks, handed them their only regular season loss in that spring season when SDSU made their first trip to Frisco. They beat the Bison pretty soundly a couple years ago. You just mentioned they've got a bunch of FBS close calls. They should have had the Jacks last year. They jumped out to a big lead and then kind of dilly-dallied and let the Jacks back in the game and kind of blew it late. That's kind of the big question mark with them, is how do they get over the hump? They've been a perpetually 7-win team almost every year. They're getting in the playoffs most years, and often, last year included, win a game, but they haven't quite been able to reach that level. We've seen NDSU and SDSU have been at the top. Then in the last few years, USD has closed that gap. They've gotten up to where they're pretty close to a blue blood, to one of the elite teams. North Dakota hasn't got there yet. They haven't made a deep run in the playoffs yet. They've been a good team. Is this the year that they get over the hump? I don't know. Whether it is or not, I really like what Eric Schmidt's doing. I think getting NDSU sort of out of the way, so to speak, makes the path a little easier for them. They're definitely, I think, an up-and-coming program to keep an eye on within the Valley and the FCS.
Matt Zimmer's on tonight. Find him at SiouxFallsLive.com. He's on X. Follow him. If you're not here in South Dakota, he's at Matt J. Zimmer on X. So I had John Stiglmeyer on yesterday, and he's done, so many interviews with you, even recently, and he still talks South Dakota State. He's still involved there. So I asked him yesterday, how much do you hang around the facility now? Do you talk to Dan Jackson? How much are you involved there? And he said, really, Dan Jackson lets him be involved as much as he wants to be. He said, I'm trying to not overdo it. I try to, but he said he lets me do as much as I want to. And he had me talk to the players. And he did mention Jimmy's staff, Jimmy Rogers' staff, they didn't think I cared. And I thought that's interesting. Well, how do you balance Stig? He's still around. He's still the all-time great legend coach, and a new coach like Dan Jackson trying to set his tone. How do you see that dynamic?
You mean as far as Stig having a little bit different role or relationship with Dan than he did with Jimmy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it seems like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that makes a little sense just because, Jimmy directly replaced Stig. And so I think that first year out, and John told me this multiple times, he kind of felt a little bit like he had to go away, not that he wasn't welcome there or anything like that. And I would disagree with him if he thinks that Jimmy and his staff didn't care about Stig or whatever. I think maybe what he meant was they didn't care if he was there or not, that he was welcome to be there either way, because I saw him there plenty of times. But he definitely, I think, wanted to make sure that he didn't give the impression that he couldn't let go, or that he was still too attached or he wanted to be involved.
Yeah.
I think it was very important to John to make sure that Jimmy knew he had his full support, but also that he would get out of his way and respect that he was the coach and let him do things the way he wanted to do it. I know to this day those two are very close. I know John was kind of the one who gave Jimmy his blessing to leave after just 2 years. It obviously was a controversial decision. A lot of people are still angry about it. Stig was the one to say, hey, if this is the next step you need to make in your career, then do it. And when Jimmy gave his introductory press conference at Washington State, he broke down in tears talking about John. So, that relationship is very strong still, I think. But it is a little bit different now because Jimmy was directly, kind of trying to keep it going. The same thing with Stig. Then he took that whole staff with him. Dan comes in, and he's got to start from scratch. He had a much more difficult situation to inherit than Jimmy did. So I don't know if it was necessarily that John felt he needed to be there more, that Dan wanted him to be there because he felt like it was important. I just think it was a totally different situation where Dan's trying to create sort of almost not a new culture really because he was part of the Stig tree, but it was different. All those coaches left. Dan had to kind of start from scratch a little bit and tying Stig in, bringing him along, making sure the new players knew who he was, the new coaches knew who he was. I think that was important, and I think John has done a really good job of sort of threading the needle between being there for Dan or Jimmy or whoever else when they need him, but making sure that he wasn't, overstepping his bounds or feeling like he was around too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I thought that was interesting from Stig, and I don't think he didn't say, Jimmy didn't care. He just said his staff didn't really care or thought I cared. And it was interesting. So he's been in the middle of it now a little bit right there with Coach Dan Jackson as he gets set for second year for Jacks football. Matt, I want to get your read. You said on Happy Hour that Justin Sell said, I haven't gotten a call from anybody like Iowa State. Jimmy's there. Yeah, Otzelberger's there. I had an Iowa State writer on that said, whoever TJ wants to be the AD, they might want to listen to TJ. He's the biggest show there at Iowa State. Is that Justin Sell in that candidate list over the next, 6 months?
I don't think so, unless if TJ has that kind of pull and that's how he feels, maybe. I don't mean to imply that Justin Sell wouldn't be a good candidate or that he couldn't succeed as Iowa State's AD. I think he could. I think he's done tremendous work at South Dakota State. I mean, he has been there for a very long time, and there are very, very, very few mistakes on his ledger. Having said that, Iowa State's a Big 12 program, and generally, Big 12 teams don't reach down to the FCS or the mid-major level, however you want to say it, for athletic directors or head coaches. There's usually kind of an intermediate step there. And that's not to say Justin couldn't do it or he's not qualified. I just think if you're a Big 12 school like Iowa State, there's probably a lot of candidates. Like, I don't know, they might have an associate AD who's been, working under the previous guy who's ready to take over the job. I'm sure there's a lot of other assistant ADs around the Big 12, around the Big 10 that would be interested. And I would just assume that's where they would look first. That doesn't mean if you're an SDSU fan, I don't think you can completely sleep tight knowing that Justin's not going anywhere. I mean, I thought for a long time that the success he's had there and the role he's had on a lot of NCAA committees, how well he does at hiring the right coaches, raising money, developing facilities. I mean, like I said, his track record is really impressive. So I've always kind of thought, it would make sense for someone to go after him, and maybe Iowa State will. It just seems to me like maybe a few people would have to say no to them before they would go in that direction.
That's interesting. Iowa State needs money. They need fundraising. That's Justin Sell's MO, right? I mean, that's big time.
I mean, that's what everybody needs now. And that's kind of, for better or worse, kind of become the athletic director's number one job, I think. I mean, I know there's other people. Everyone's adding staff now to try and deal with NIL and the transfer portal and all sorts of different things, facilities, compliance. I mean, it's I don't need to tell you or your listeners, college athletics keeps growing and swelling into this giant business, this, entity that's so different from what we're used to. And there seems like the rules change by week, let alone but year to year. So it seems like a really thankless job. Like, a lot of times I want to ask someone like Justin Sell, like, why do you want to keep doing this? It's like your job just keeps getting harder and harder and harder. So, if anyone out there is able to do it and do it well, there's going to be schools out there willing to throw a lot of money at you to get you to come do it for them.
It is a never-ending cycle. I was in college athletics a few years, fundraising. It is never-ending. You have a good year, you're like, oh, we're in good shape, and you start over. It's a grinder, and it's even worse now. Matt Zimmer's on tonight, SiouxFallsLive.com. One more. Augustana sent that email out about getting some help with their athletic coverage from AI. People, I just tweeted, I said, oh, this is interesting. It's going to help out SIDs who are just, speaking of thankless, I mean, these guys this is a tough job, and AI can help them. Is that good or no?
I don't know. I had a very similar reaction to you, I think, where I read it and kind of thought, well, anytime I see AI, my just natural response is, no, bad, because the techie idiots on Twitter keep telling us that the robots are going to take all our jobs and we're going to be turned into paste and, the end of the world. That obviously is not something that I think most of us want to look forward to, is AI taking everyone's jobs. Having said that, they did have a direct quote from their SID in the press release saying this is going to make my job easier.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'll take him at his word. And you're right. SID, speaking of thankless jobs, I mean, you kind of think, oh, these guys get to sit and watch a football or basketball game for free. That sounds fun. Well, what you don't see is that after the game is over, they spend 4 more hours in their office, typing up stats and schedules and press releases and making media guides and scheduling appearances. And then they have to come back on Sunday to do the soccer game. And then they're up Thursday night doing track and cross country and all the sports that fans don't care about, but they still have to do all that stuff. It's an incredibly demanding and not very rewarding job.
Right.
And if having that sort of program can make it so those guys get to spend a weekend at home with their family instead of typing up soccer scores, then I think that's a good thing. Hopefully, it will be interesting because AI has taken over a lot of things, and if it's done well, they've partnered with some college athletic departments, this FanWord company, AI, to help Augie Athletics in some of their athletic communications. Well, that'll be interesting to see. Matt Zimmer, you're watching Twins baseball. Last question. Describe Twins baseball in 2026. Unpredictable, I guess, is what I would go with. I thought they were going to be terrible, and they've been pretty decent, and that's to their credit. They've been really fun to watch. I think Derek Shelton's done a good job as their skipper, but it already looks like, they're probably not going to be able to keep this up. They've got, 10 days till the trade deadline, and they're slipping out of the wild card race. They're going to have to turn it around really quick here if they want to be buyers and contenders and not be sellers in 10 days. At least they're in it a little bit. I mean, that's okay. I know it's the AL Central. Yeah, they should be. They have kept my attention to a greater degree than I thought they would. And like I said, win or lose, they've been a fun team to watch. It's an easy group to root for, and I really think Derek Shelton's done a good job. Unpredictable is better than predictable. Matt Zimmer on tonight. Matt J. Zimmer on X. Follow him, and he's there. SiouxFallsLive.com. The football season moments away. Appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot. You bet, Nate. See ya. Matt Zimmer tonight on the Nate Brown Show across the state. Sports writer, SiouxFallsLive.com. Okay, I've got to go to this. I have to go to this. I haven't commented enough on it. I just think this is the perfect example of money that they just throw around, and then people say, there's unlimited amounts of money in college sports. Unlimited amounts. And I always say, well, no, there's not. And then this story comes out, and there must be unlimited. And it's just the perfect example of a university spending money that people think is unlimited coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
At Dakota Bank, we're more than just a place to bank. We're your neighbors. From everyday banking to home mortgages, insurance, and trust services, we're here for every step of your financial journey. We believe in doing what's right for you because we live here, work here, and care about our communities just like you do. Go with confidence, go with trust, go with Dakota Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and investment products are not FDIC insured, may lose value, and have no bank guarantee.
More inventory, more brands, more reasons to shop at Danny Meno Rapid Chevrolet. Choose from over 350 used cars, trucks, and SUVs from all your favorite brands. Buy with no money down and no payments for 90 days with qualified credit. Choose from GMCs, Rams, Fords, Chevys, Jeeps, imports, and more. Buy all with no money down and no payments for 90 days. 16 local and national lenders available and all applications accepted. See us at Danny Meno Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMenoRapidChevrolet.com.
Do you have constant constipation, diarrhea, or heartburn? Those symptoms aren't normal. At Sanford Health Tower Road Clinic, we can help you find lasting relief with personalized care. Our digestive health experts treat a wide range of concerns, including stomach pain, Crohn's disease, and acid reflux. We can also help with important preventive care like regular colonoscopies. Our growing team is available close to home in Rapid City, and we're accepting new patients. Visit sanfordhealth.org for total digestive care.
At Dakota Discount RV, we're in it for the long haul, just like you. Whether it's cross-country adventures, weekends by the lake, or family time under the stars, we're here to keep you rolling for years to come. While others are packing up, we're doubling down with dependable service, great prices, and the biggest selection in the region. Your journey doesn't stop here, and neither do we. Here tomorrow, here for every mile ahead. Visit us in Rapid City or Somerset or online at DakotaDiscountRV.com.
Shop the region's unmatched selection of beer, wine, and spirits at your Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. This month's specials include an $8.50 savings on handles of Jose Cuervo Tequila, now $29.99. A 175 of Crown Royal, now just $48.99. And choose all varieties of black box wines for only $17.49. All this plus rare allocated bourbons and exclusive in-store barrel picks. Available at both Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. Off Cadtron next to Walmart or the original Mr. Liquor on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in your sports, your show, The Nate Brown Show, live tonight, Tuesday edition of the program, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. High Energy Tuesday. Great guest tonight. Matt Zimmer, good stuff with him moments ago. Sioux Falls Live, talking FCS in the Valley. He said the biggest threat to the Jacks in the Valley he thinks is UND is the second best team. He voted for Youngstown State because of their schedule being number 2. James Merilatt on tonight about the big ESPN cuts. Does it matter to the sports consumer? Some big names getting cut at ESPN today. James Merilatt joined us tonight, Denver Sports. And then our stop around the Valley. We're going to try and check in with each program. UND head football coach Eric Schmidt was on tonight. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. We'll put it up after the show tonight. You can listen to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. Search The Nate Brown Show and get our podcasts on any platform where you get your podcast. Search The Nate Brown Show. Okay, I have to dive into this. I mean, people aren't talking about this enough because it's been World Cup and, things get, glossed over and then people forget about this stuff. You've got a premier university, University of Michigan. High academics, huge brand. I mean, it is massive. Is University of Michigan, as far as brand, is it top 5? I mean, you say University of Michigan, Michigan Wolverines, they're winning national championships in football, in basketball. I mean, this is big time. And nobody's talking about they had to do their internal investigation because of the Sharon Moore, their former coach, and the controversy was their relationship with his personal assistant and all that stuff. And then he got let go. And they said, we got to do an internal investigation to see if we got any controls in place in the University of Michigan Athletic Department. This is a big business product here. Do we have the right controls and everything in place, right? Accountability and so they did an internal investigation, and this past week here, they said, oh, we're done with it. It cost them, they used the law firm $12 million. I mean, nobody's and here's the findings. Nothing major, no like big problems. I mean, nothing widespread. Of course not. I mean, we're going to give a verbal report because we don't want all of this in writing. We spent $12 million, but we're going to give a verbal report. What is this? What type of final is this? The verbal final in high school. And the AD, Ward Manuel, is still going to step down at the end of this year. So what I call that is they're negotiating that buyout thing. You know what that means. So Ward Manuel's he's going to step down at the end of the year, but no big findings, no widespread misconduct. I mean, nothing egregious here, but we did have a lack of accountability, and we had some. I mean, where does this happen, guys? Where does this happen? You have to spend $12 million, which people say, oh, there's so much money in college sports. There's unlimited amounts. And then other people say, well, there's not unlimited amounts. Well, you can spend $12 million on an investigation of your own department. And that's a racket, by the way. What a deal. What a racket. And then we no big findings, but we had some lack of control. We did have some problems that led to this stuff. And our AD is going to step down at the end of the year. I mean, no harm, no foul, but he's going to step down. And then we're just supposed to just push it off to the side. Hey, everything's good. We're all good. Where else does this happen in private enterprise, in companies or anything? I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely. Imagine this happening at South Dakota State. I'm just going to use them for example. A controversy inside the athletic department. They have to spend $12 million to investigate. Well, we had some problems here. Well, our AD is going to have stepped down, but don't worry about it. Hey, Kelloland, nothing to see here. I mean, this is bonkers, and I think people are just going to let it go. And I'm not telling you whatever they did. Oh, you got to hammer them. You got to do this. The NCAA can hammer them. They can't. I just think it's baffling that people are like, yeah, you can spend $12 million, investigate what happened, don't release it, just say there was kind of some problems, AD's going to step down, and I think people will let it go. Let's try that. That's classic university bureaucratic mess. People getting paid, people getting golden parachutes. There was problems. They said there was problems. But we're not going to put it all in a report because we don't want you to know the problems. What a deal. It's a good deal if you can get it. And University of Michigan's going to get it. What a deal. Forget about it, right? As soon as Michigan starts playing football, we'll forget about it. Don't worry. And they know that. They know that. Who's hot and who's not on the Nate Brown Show? We wrap it up with a sports legend. This guy's a legend. I'm not a fan. And I'm becoming less of a fan by the day next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
The following radio ad is Good Fun Squad approved.
My name is Jenny, and I'm the lady at the South Dakota Lottery who writes out those big checks for our winners. It's a lot of fun, but we've had so many big winners lately, my hand is tired. There was a $600,000 winner, a $2 million winner, a $4 million winner. That's a lot of zeros, and not normal zeros, big check zeros, and the winning never stops. That's why I'm learning to write with both hands.
Good fun.
Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Weekend meal rules, they're different. Lots of meats, messier bites, zero regrets. That's why you need Village Hearth. freshly baked old-fashioned buns that hold up to jumbo hot dogs, juicy burgers, and bold ideas. From lazy lunches to neighborhood block parties, Village Hearth brings it all together. Whatever's on the grill, make the bun count. Village Hearth. Cookouts start here.
Hey Black Hills, this is Scott Hanna.
And this is Adam Ray, and we have a full-service mechanical repair shop, Gateway Tire and Alignment, right here, right now.
We have top-of-the-line equipment with skilled, experienced, expert mechanics.
Offering all services from oil changes starting at $49.95 to brakes, to free AC checks, diagnostics, engine work, even diesel.
We can get you in now. No more waiting for weeks to get your car in for service.
We're your one-stop shop for sales and service.
Visit us at 123 Omaha or go to GatewayAutoplex.com to book your appointment.
Gateway Sales and Service.
I'm Scott Hanna.
And I'm Adam Ray.
And nobody, I mean nobody,
beats a Gateway deal.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance of thunderstorms tonight, otherwise mainly cloudy skies expected. Lows dip down to about 64. Winds out of the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun again tomorrow. Chance of thunderstorms. Daytime highs approaching 84. Chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night. Lows around 64, mainly cloudy. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 81.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate you. The Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio, KWSN Sioux Falls and Fox Sports Rapid City. Who's hot and who's not every night at this time. Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Best buffet in town is at the Pizza Ranch. Stop by East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, and a location in Brandon. Best buffet by far. Hit the Pizza Ranch this week. It's too hot. You know that. Hit it up. They'll cook for you. Cactus bread for dessert. Take the kids. Fun Zone Arcade. It's all good in Brandon and East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Stop by. Who's hot category? I'm just going to go to Major League Baseball. We're out of the All-Star break. And who's hot? The Boston Red Sox. Red Sox have won 14 games in a row. They're still 6 back of the AL East. 14 wins in a row for the Boston Red Sox. Keep an eye, you Red Sox fans. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category tonight, Tom Brady. Have you seen this, guys? I mean, if you look at the social media and all that stuff, which we all do, Tom Brady's beefing with Logan Paul. Logan Paul, you know, the Jake Paul and Logan Paul, Logan Paul's WWE stuff. What did he do? Boxing too and stuff. I don't know these guys. Tom Brady was at Fanatics Fest the other day, Fan Fest, slapped Logan Paul. They interacted with each other at the World Cup final. They're saying it's all being made up. That's the reporting. It's all secret. It's all being made up that Tom Brady and Logan Paul are having a public feud and people are getting it on camera because they're setting up a WWE match. If that is the case, that's I don't need Tom Brady going there. Tom Brady's in Michael Jordan's category. He's the owner of the Raiders. He's not a WWE guy. That's goofy. That's what they're saying. WWE, Tom Brady, Logan Paul. That's goofy. Oh, boy. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. We appreciate you. We're back tomorrow. The podcast going up now.
My reason why is community.
My reason why is leadership.
My reason why is to inspire others.
Why do thousands of teenagers